Yeah, well, Prof here. Just want to do a quick video on something for you that many of you may not know about computers, and custom building PCs and stuff. Way back in the day, it was not uncommon to have, see that hole there? That's pretty common to find on older PCI slot covers, PCI brackets, especially like single slots. They wouldn't be a 1X. They'd be equivalent to a 1X, they'd be in a PCI slot. That would have a hole on the end there, sometimes bigger, often that sized, right? See that there? So what that is for, and I don't know if this was ever really standardized. I made that hole. This is a little drilled out. I also tapped it. But what that matches up to is on the back side here. You can see little holes on the end of each of the PCI slot, right? It's PCI slots right there. So what you can do then, and what I'm doing with these covers, this is where I say I don't know if it was standard, because I've seen this hole at the end at a couple different spots on, that's the original one, and this is where I had to drill for these. This is a Corsair 750D. The 350D was the same way. I'm not sure about the, what was it, the 450 or 550D, which is that's the mid tower. This is the full tower, and the 350D was the micro ATX. But with this, what you can do is you can put a screw in that hole. Now, I made it a bit easier for myself by tapping that hole. And what that'll do is these just get held on tighter and nicer. Nothing big there because there's the slot cover. But here is a USB, right? Here's a USB header. It's got the USB stuff off there because I'm going to paint it black just to match. And that's going to go down here, right? That's going to go right down there. Now, 2 seconds. Alright, so now what can happen is if you don't use that area back there that I've tapped, the only thing holding this in is this screw. And this would really help out modern day GPUs because it would be supported the back and the front. Now, some cases now even get rid of these in between. So I don't know if that would even be considered to be possible because I don't know if these holes were ever truly standardized. If you guys know, put it down in the comments down below. Because this is probably the newest case I know of that still has these. But here, when you have this that isn't supported by a PCI slot, especially, you get a lot of movement on this. Like, see that there? And like in and out, there's a bunch of movement. Well, once you screw in right there, or some things would have had a different mechanism to do that, like pegs or like a locking mechanism along this side. Like I said, it's a much older design. You can see this case is a little bit older on its design because it's got these punch outs for external radiators, even though this case can very most definitely take internal radiators. So it's kind of like some stuff just stuck around for the 750D. That just tightens all this up and makes everything really nice and stiff. And that would really help if GPUs had it. Now, I don't generally do this to GPUs because it's something that'll void the warranty. Potentially. If you buy a secondary bracket due to that swap bracket, then it shouldn't. But just thought I'd show you guys a bit of older tech that actually modern systems could benefit from. And I'm still trying to take advantage of it nowadays. And I did finally find these black solid PCI slot covers because I don't want air coming through there. I don't want dust. Air comes in the front. The entire bottom is blocked off too with stuff. I blocked off the top with some acoustic foam to quiet it down because that's probably one of the biggest areas because your ears, depending on where your computer is, like around that height, if you don't have a fan there, sound's coming out there. I know this, like, it's kind of like you're to reduce airflow. I also have sound dampening on the side panel. I replaced this windowed side panel, which was a hallmark of the 750D, back when this was my home theater PC. This is now the repair computer, but replaced that with a solid panel and But sound dampening on it. And the top sound dampening is about yay thick. The side panels is much thinner. Just to be able to still close. But we have 2 in on the front, which is filtered. Comes in, 1 out. For the hardware that's in here, previously like some old X79 systems. This is my like old computer, guys. Knowing my desktop then becomes the home theater PC, and then the home theater PC becomes a repair PC. So only a year or two ago, this was still an X58 system. Got this one from Preston. This is a 280 millirad. It used to have a 240. Prior to that, it had a tower cooler. Kind of like as we have free parts and they're an upgrade to this, they kind of get tossed in here. But this is like perfect for this case. 2 140s in, comes over. I actually spaced the hard drives back. If you notice, the fans are on the inside because I made more space. Originally, this would potentially be all hard drive cages, and there'd be SSDs in the back. And the fans would actually go on the outside. So you get a much nicer, less restricted airflow that way. Comes in. This isn't really in the way. I have a 1650 up here because I just need it to be able to run studio drivers for stability purposes and to better run stuff. It can game, but that's not its purpose. Remember, it's a repair / diagnostic PC, or if I need to be able to slap somebody else's GPU in here, pop the side panel off. Everything else is nicely cable managed so that I can just boop boop. Now this was from Preston as well. I swapped him my B550 Steel Legend, which is a better fit for his home theater PC, for this X570 plus Wi-Fi, which has got to be one of the least good / worst X570 motherboards I have seen. Check out some other videos. You'll hear me talk about why mid-range B550 boards have more features than this. Features that you would buy X570 for, it doesn't have. So, but he had to get it when he got his, I think it was like 3080 or something like that, or 3060 for the home theater PC. So, and for me, it does work because right now it has 3700X, testing it for Mooski in here, but it will end up with a 2600. And B550, as I learned with the home theater PC, unless you have very specific boards, cannot do 2000 series CPUs. So, wop wop. Yeah, but it's coming along. I got SATA plugged in up here for all the optical drives and the hot swap. I gotta get these SATAs down here. That looks gaudy as fuck. However, a better looking 2.5 to 3.5 inch adapter is like $30. And then like for like $50, you can have one that does 2.5 inch drives, and then I could use all 8 of the SATA ports. So until I need to swap that out, I probably won't, unless I need this for like another system. Like say another build needs this, then I'll use it in that and upgrade that. It's kind of how stuff works here. Yeah, there's no need for this to have a fanless PSU, but that was Chibi PCs, and then this wattage became not enough for Chibi PC, and I actually used the fan on that power supply in there as an outtake, so it had to go. Perfect for this system, fits great. I run all Seasonic now, so that if I need to swap a power supply, or say a system power supply dies, I can literally rip the one out of here, or I have an extra. Sadly, my Seasonic extra is no longer a thing, so if Seasonic wants to help me with that, I just need like 650 watts, fully modular, at least bronze rating, and same cable layout. Just for testing, that makes life so much easier. Right now, my extra is a 850 Corsair, which, yeah, let's put it that way. I keep those cables. I'm gonna like mark them in yellow or something pretty soon because, fuck, don't want to mess that up, Alright, I should probably cut out the rambling about the other stuff, or make that a separate video as like a computer tech update thoughts video, because this is supposed to be a quick short thing on those screws. Well guys, hopefully you found the screws on the back side of those PCI slots interesting, because they had a solution for especially because you used to have all these breakout cards and stuff like that would be loose if you didn't have that second screw because they're not attached to a slot. But I don't know if that was, like I said, I don't know if that was ever really standardized. Even on this, you can see where I had to drill the hole and where the hole was. Maybe standardize it. and we can start using that, because that would really help with a lot of these graphics cards. If we want to get on that thing, we go check out some of Muski's videos with his build Bertha. And his GPU flexes so hard because it's a 3-slot with only a 2-slot bracket, and then the entire rest of the card is not even attached to the 2-slot bracket. So there's nothing supporting it. So this might be a fix for that. It's a fix that already existed, really. Let me know if you guys have seen this before on older systems. I'm probably thinking like Core 2 Duo at the newest, for the most part, that this is going to be on. What's the newest case that you guys have seen it on? And hopefully you enjoyed the video and you like this kind of niche information on, I don't want to say like custom PC building history, but you know, we can make old things new again. Alright, you guys have a good one. Peace.